Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? What's up, what's up? How are y'all doing? Is my audio coming through? Can you all hear me? Today is gonna be super exciting. What's up, everybody? Having a nice evening? Where did my pen go? There it is. Hey. Before I say anything else, if you don't have ZBrush Core Mini, get it. It's in the description. Download it while I'll be talking about a bunch of stuff. Sounds perfect, great. Is the music too loud, too low? I can turn it down a little bit while I am talking. There we go. Alright, everybody. Exciting things. Sculpting. I love this stuff. Let's get it. Still music on. Okay, I'll turn down a little bit more. There we go. Should be able to hear me loud and clear. Are you all excited for today? We're gonna be doing some cool stuff. Hello. What's up, Jim Winter, David, Mikhail, Anastasia, Clarissa, Kian, Carl, bunch of people. Sir Nico, what up? Audio's great, fantastic. Okay, everybody. First bootcamp out of 4. I'm gonna be your instructor. My name is Onua, and I'm a student here at CADA, 3rd semester. And today we're gonna be sculpting, and I'm super excited. Yeah, hell yeah. Alright. Let me just switch my camera quick. Boom. So, people, let me know. Have you all downloaded ZBrush Core Mini yet? Hit me with a yes or a no. Or a in progress. Let me know if people are still doing that stuff. So I have a concept for today, and I think it's a really cool concept, and I was almost contemplating saving it for myself, to be honest. But I'm gonna share it and we're gonna try it together. We'll try our best with the tools that we do have. I have, yes. Alright, great, everybody is ready, that's cool. So, question is, open and observing the sphere. Okay, great. Yeah, open your ZBrush Core and see if it works. Are people using a mouse today, or do you guys have tablets? And have you sculpted before? Has anyone sculpted before? Or is this like your first time? What kind of level are people coming in at? Let me know, and I can help you at all levels, don't worry. Unless you're a total pro, then maybe you can help me instead. But I'll try my best. Huyan tablet, nice, that's what I'm sitting with too. Tablet gang, let's go. Alright. Mouse, first time, that's all good. You can do it with a mouse. If you really enjoy it, I recommend getting a tablet, if you do like it, because it helps a lot, it makes it a lot more enjoyable. First time, but only in Blender. Tablet gang, alright. Let's go. Okay, so are there any Berserk fans in the chat? Berserk, anyone? Never sculpted before and looking at buying Huyan, yeah? Wacom and the mouse on the Mac. Yep, Huyan can work, especially if you're on a budget. But of course, the Wacom is still the king of like when you need that pro setup, you know. But I do enjoy my Huyans. I rocked one for a long time myself. Oh, sculpting isn't my way. It feels odd. Sculpting feels odd to you. Maybe you're used to more regular poly modeling and stuff like that, like the more rigid structures and all that. Yeah, I think sculpting can be a little bit odd, especially if you're used to something else. But it's all about your process and your mindset going into it, right? It's like a different tool for a different problem. So I'm guessing no Berserk fans, because no one has been reacting to this. never sculpted before and I want to learn, great, you're in the right place. So remember everybody, I am here live to help you all out. So if you have a question, ask me. This is the reason we do it live, so you can all interact with me and I can help you with whatever it is that you need, right? So don't be shy, ask questions. If you have a question, there's probably a couple other people that have the same question, and I will go over stuff again if you do need it, or if stuff is going a little bit too fast. On the Astropad iPad, I don't even know what an Astropad is, but sure. Okay everybody, let's get into it. You've seen this pendant before, Clarissa? Yeah, it's from Berserk. Okay, so basically what's going on in here is this is the pendant of a necklace. So we're gonna be doing the pendant of a necklace. And this is a really creepy one from Berserk. It's meant to be some sort of demon, object, whatever, curses people, something like that. I haven't seen the whole thing, but that's sort of what I know about it. So I thought, let's take this idea of sculpting on a pendant, but make it our own. Is it brawling? Squared out and Berserk for me is a brawling ogre. Okay, hold up. So let me not get too off track. Yeah, so we're doing a pendant, but we're making it our own. And I gotta say, it's a little cliche, but I love Japanese stuff. And I've been seeing some of this stuff from one of my favorite artists. And you know, I love sharing art with people, and enjoying and looking at art is like one of the coolest things you can do in your sculpting journey, because it just sort of motivates you to do better and do more and enjoy it at the same time. So Shilong Zhu, I hope I pronounced that right, but he's a great artist, and I thought it'd be so cool to do something that sort of is a little bit reminiscent of what he's doing. But we're going to be doing it on a pendant. So you don't have to do what I'm doing, and that's the reason I'm keeping this a bit open. We're basically just doing a pendant. If there's an artist that you like or something that you want to do, feel free to do that on your pendant. And I prepared a bunch of stuff right here, so I'm going to be sculpting it, but sort of in a flat view on the pendant. Some cool Japanese fabric, like print fabrics or patterns and stuff like that. And I'll try to mix it all together. I even did a little drawing somewhere. Well, for my own eyes only, but I'll try my best, right? So while I'm talking here, if there's like some kind of art or patterns or something that you find cool, find it, open it up, put like the pictures in a separate browser, just get it ready, just get inspired, right? I would recommend doing that. And while you all do that, if you want to do that, or you can just follow along with my reference too, I'll be showing it a little bit here and there. And you can also just freestyle it, but I would recommend trying to find something that you enjoy and find cool. So, why sculpt? So someone said sculpting, how do you add more polygons in the Core Mini version of ZBrush? Okay, so... okay, I will answer that question in a second. So let me get into why even use Core Mini ZBrush. So some of you all might be used to modeling, just regular poly modeling, and that can be used for a lot of stuff. But once you get into like really complex shapes that are not really easy to describe with points, it becomes a lot easier and a lot more freeform to use a sculpting software, because you can really go in there and define, like, this would basically be impossible to do with a poly modeling software right here, like this kind of bumpy surface, if that's what you're going for, right? It should be kind of evident why sculpting can be so powerful, because it enables you to do whatever sort of you want. So it comes closer to that artistic side of 3D. That's one of the reasons why I really like it. So if you all have ZBrush Core Mini open, I'll just go over the very basic sort of tools that you need to be able to use the program, right? And I'll do it both for the tablet and the mouse. So first things first, you're gonna notice if you click out here in the blank space, you'll be able to rotate your sphere around. So what you can do is make a little mark so you can actually see it. and now you see it rotating around. Okay, great. So left click to rotate, and the same on the tablet, you just click with your pen and you rotate. If you add a shift to that, oh, okay, hold up, sorry. If you add Alt to that, let me get used to the Core Mini hotkeys. So left click with the Alt key held down, you'll pan around. So left click to rotate, Alt and left click to pan. And you can use these two together to sort of navigate around. So what happened here is I got super far into the mesh somehow. And how do I get out of this? Like now I can't rotate my camera or whatever. It's like a mess because I can't not click it. There's a button on the right that says frame. So if you ever get lost in your scene, you can just click frame and you'll come back out. So to zoom in and out, what you do is Alt, left click like we're used to, but then while holding the left click down, you let go of Alt. And then you can drag and zoom in and out. So this is like one of the odd hotkeys of ZBrush, but that's basically how it works. So left click to rotate, Alt left click, Alt click, and let go of Alt. So just try to do that for a little bit, get used to the navigation, because it's kind of nice to get comfortable with it before we really get into it. Okay, so for the polygon question that Kiwan had, so basically if you're used to ZBrush and if you're totally new, just this might not make sense right now, and that's fine. But so how sculpting works is the same as normal poly modeling, right? You have a bunch of polygons that make up your form or your shape or your object, whatever it is that you want to call it. And so that's why we can get this smooth looking surface, is because we just have a bunch of polygons that we can pull and push, right? So how do you add more polygons in Core Mini was the question. Well, Core Mini uses something that's called Sculptress Pro. So it just adds more polygons wherever it is that it feels like you need it. So if I make a very small brush size, it will add a lot of density right there. I hope that makes sense and answers your question. Okay, so out here on the left is where we have our brush palette. And here we have a bunch of different brushes that we can use. So right now I've just been using the standard brush, and you just left click and drag over your surface. So the advantage I have by having a tablet is that I can click a little bit and you can barely see it, and the harder I press, the more I can show that line, and then I can fade it out again by pressing less and less and less. So you see? And that gives you that kind of more brush strokey feeling, and it gives you more control, because all of a sudden I can go in and I can really decide if I want to fade that out. See? It's a lot harder to do with the mouse because it's all the same intensity. So I go in and it becomes hard to fade that out. But it will still work for this introduction if you are using the mouse, right? And especially me, I have a very frantic way of sculpting. It's just how I like to do it, so I'll go over my surface a lot like that. There's a bunch of different brushes, and we'll start using them little by little as we need them. One of my personal favorites, the clay builder. So, okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Are these hotkeys making sense for people so far? Am I going over them way too quick? Or is it is it something that you can all manage? Let me know. Because every time it's different, right? Sometimes I might need to go over stuff again, and that's completely okay. So let me just reset this sphere. You can click up here to reset it. I'll just say no. I don't want to save the changes, and I'm back to the default. All good, great, great, great. Okay, so how you zoom is, so it's the same on the tablet and in the mouse, right? So you hold Alt and you left click outside here. So right now I both have Alt held down and the left click. Or with the tablet, I'm just pressing down my pen on the tablet, right? And then right now I can pan around, but that's not what we want to do. We want to zoom, so I let go of Alt. So now I can zoom. So Alt and then left click and then let go of Alt, and then you're in the zoom mode. I hope that answers your question, Sir Nico. So while we have our brushes selected, we do have a couple extra very useful options available to us. So if I increase the draw size a little bit, so up here is basically how big your brush is going to be, and you can also get the shortcut for that with S. That's very confusing. Yeah, it is confusing. I will not deny that, and I totally agree. And my own hotkey for that is a little bit different, but a lot of people get used to it very fast, so it shouldn't be too discouraging. Okay, so when we just drag across the surface, you build up the mesh, right? So there's a hotkey to do the opposite, to go in with the brush. So now we're carving out the mesh. And you're basically just holding down Alt, and you can see there's a little minus that comes up with our cursor. So you hold down Alt and then you just draw on the mesh and it will carve in. And these two together can be very useful, because all of a sudden we can like carve in and we can dig out at the same time. So we can carve in and then build up. And especially with the clay build-up tool, it becomes very useful. And you can sort of make your shape. So let's say we wanted to make like a little sort of organic spiral thing here. We can dig it down and then build it up. And now we have this kind of sort of jagged surface here, and we don't really want that. So how do we go about smoothing it out? Well, you just hold Shift and then you can smooth. Shift to smooth. And this is a dangerous tool, because while you do smooth it out, and it might be nice sometimes, you also lose a lot of the form that you've been working so hard to build it up, So use it carefully, and use it when you feel like it's a necessity. Usually it's fine to go a long time with just having like a sort of rough surface on your sculpt, as long as the right like form is there, right? You gotta keep thinking about forms. Okay, is this making sense for you all? And at this point it's really basic. It's pretty much like the tools that we will be using, and we can go over the others if we do end up needing them. Another very useful one is called the move brush. And this one is very useful for like changing the overall shape of your sculpt. You can make it very big and you just basically drag around the clay like that. So that's it. I'll be using all these tools, and I'll be talking while I'm using them, and you can all ask questions. So let's get into it a little bit. So the first thing we should do, just to make sure that we don't lose all our work, because programs do crash, we should save our project. So I'll go ahead and I'll just save it right here, and I'll call it pendant Bootcamp. Great. So just go ahead and save it, and it was right here in the top left. You can also click Ctrl S, it's the hotkey in many softwares, and you just go ahead and you save it. So feel free to freestyle, find your own reference, really do whatever it is that you feel like. Today's purpose is basically just to get you introduced to how sculpting is done in 3D. So it's not really about the outcome, even though I would love to see your all's work on the Discord afterwards, but we'll talk about that during nearing the end. But yeah, so just practice using the tools, have fun, make something that you think is cool. And I'll be going for this kind of teardrop shape for my pendant, and then I'll probably be having some kind of leafy bottom. I'll try to get that sort of to work out, and then maybe if I do have time to sketch in a little dragon sort of creature on it. So you can follow along right here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the move brush, because I want to change the overall shape of my sculpture. So I'll go in right here. I make sure that symmetry is on, so we don't end up getting some sort of wonky pendant. So you can turn on the symmetry. I put the draw size to the max size, and then I start dragging down my sculpture. And so with the normal ZBrush, you would be able to... So if I smooth right here, because of Sculptris Pro, I have a very large brush, it becomes more low poly. So yeah, Core Mini is very, very bare bones. And if you do enjoy sculpting a lot, I would recommend getting ZBrush or trying it out in Blender as well. It has some very nice tools. So let's just go with this kind of shape. Try to get that kind of teardrop shape. And yeah, I really like this kind of boom, boom, boom leafy pattern on it. I would like to build some kind of tree trunk looking things, some kind of leafy bottom. So that's basically what I'll be trying to sketch in. And how I go about that is basically, for the beginning, drawing on my surface, right? But you really want to be thinking about form when you're sculpting instead of just lines, right? Because some of you all might be used to drawing. So you'll be going at it with a very sort of line-oriented mindset, right? But it's all about that 3D form here. Okay. You can use this little guy in the top right to see if you're facing the front or the side or from underneath or whatever. And if you are like in a viewed like rotation, you can't figure out what's going on. You can also use them to like straighten up your view again. Also, if you hold shift and then drag, you will also straighten up your view. You see, it kind of goes to those straight views. So now this will be totally freestyle, and I'm super scared that this project is way too big for the time frame that we do have. But I'll try my best to kind of go through it because I think it's a super cool concept and I really do like it. So you can switch between the standard or the clay build-up, whatever it is that you feel like gives you what you want. And you can just start drawing cool patterns on your pendant. You don't have to do what I'm doing, right? So start drawing some cool patterns on it, whatever you feel. So right now what I am seeing is sort of this tree trunk coming up here and coming off of my pendant a little bit. So I turned off the symmetry right now. You can keep it on if that is what you want. And maybe I can show... Yeah, so this drawing is beyond a mess, but it was only really meant for my eyes. I'll show you. And this drawing is mostly just like thinking, right? So it's not meant to be pretty, it's purely meant to be a sketch of me thinking about stuff I want to do, right? So I kind of want this leafy bottom with some kind of bushes coming off of it and maybe some pattern, and then if I have time, sort of a dragon that like spirals around it. But if you feel like, of course, I like it, nice, great. Of course you don't have to do what I'm doing, right? We could also go in here and really try to get used to the brushes. So you could do some kind of geometric pattern if you want it on it, whatever it is that you find cool. If you want to flatten the bottom, we can go in with the polish brush. So let's do that. Let's actually make it like as if it was like a piece of jewelry. So we go with the polish and it flattens. Try Hokusai Art Inspired Pattern too. Nice. Go for it. I'd love to see it at the end how it turns out, right? And it's not about, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect or something. It's just cool to see what everybody has been doing. So there's very cool tools to do all this stuff in normal, like fully fledged sculpting softwares. Right now we're very bare bones, and we'll just go with that. So I'll try. So I flattened it with the polish brush right now, and now I'll try to drag out. So I'll turn on symmetry, and then I'll drag out sort of this kind of shape right here with the snake hook. That's what it does, it just drags out something. And that can be cool. Let's say I want this tree trunk to come off of here, I can sort of drag it off, and we can start from that. Or let's say you wanted to sculpt some kind of demon on it and give it horns, you could do that. So what I'm gonna try to this. So now it's getting very thin, so I'll just go in with the inflate brush and thicken it up a little bit, and then smoothing it. It'll give it some more res, or like remesh it. There we go. So this will look a little bit odd, and that's completely fine, right? Right now we're just in the early stages, so there's no point getting too stuck on something because it might change. So we just get it to somewhat a level where we can see what it's supposed to be and where it's supposed to go. And then we move on, and then we can come back to it. There we go. It's a little bit difficult in Core Mini, I will admit that. But we're just trying it out. No need to get too attached to it. And that's another thing about sculpting too. You really gotta practice the art of not getting attached to things. Because we're dealing with something that's so like adjustable. Think of it like clay, you can move it around, you can change it. So if you keep going over it, while not being attached to it, you might come up with something that's really like a lot nicer and a lot cooler than what you started out with, right? Like if you feel like you really gotta be able to feel yourself out and allow yourself to come up with new ideas, even though you have something that you already sort of kind of like. So you can come up with something that's even better than that. So I'll go ahead here and try to drag out like a little tree trunk. I hope that makes sense, everybody. It's just sort of a general sculpting thing. And also, just a good tip, really you could talk forever about all these things, right? Like, but just in general, if you're thinking about designing your little piece, keep in mind that if you want to add a lot of details, you also need areas that don't have a lot of detail, or the whole thing just becomes sort of all the same and it doesn't become that interesting to look at, right? So think about that while you're going at it. If you're adding a lot of shapes and a lot of cool things, just keep in mind that it doesn't have to be everywhere. So what I'm doing right now is I'm inflating it. So this is the inflate brush, and it just does kind of what it says it would do, right? It inflates it. I'm inflating it and then smoothing it. If you get this kind of weird, very low poly mesh, you can go ahead and smooth it, and then it'll sort of adjust itself. So if you all want to follow along with the theme that I'm doing, there's a bunch of like, you know, these kind of fabric patterns that you can use to get some kind of cool shape and pattern on your pendant. This was a really cool art piece I saw today by, see if I have it open. Yeah, this guy, amazing. Of course, we don't exactly have the time to get this level of detail and like design. Why you don't use 2024? I'm not. This was just what was installed on the PC. Is it much different? Is it hard to follow along? There's not a reason for it, by the way. I hope most things should be the same. Yeah, really cool. I would really like this sort of one of these elements at least to come off of my pendant, but I'm also making it really difficult for myself. So if you're not feeling super brave, I would recommend keeping your patterns on it. This is sort of me being way too brave for no good reason, other than I think it's sort of fun. It's almost like the practice of risk taking, right? You know, if you never try some really like out there stuff, then you'll never come up with the magic recipe as well. What's up to all the new people that are joining as well? It's very different. Are you using the normal ZBrush or are you using ZBrush Core Mini? Reka, buddy. For all the new people that are joining, you all can follow along. Just download ZBrush Core Mini and come hop in and join us. Basically what we're doing is this little pendant looking thing, and we're basically freestyling and making our own patterns and ideas on it. So we're just decorating sort of this necklace pendant. Yeah, Reka, make sure you're using Core Mini. Let me know if you are or if you're using the normal ZBrush, because the normal ZBrush is very different. Looks the same to me. Yeah, okay. So it might be that you're using the normal ZBrush, Reka. Yeah, normal ZBrush, yeah. If you want to follow along with us today and you have no sculpting experience, I would recommend downloading Core Mini. There's a link for it in the description of the stream, just so it becomes a bit easier to follow along. But ZBrush, the normal ZBrush 2024 is absolutely amazing, right? If you know the hotkeys and all that, feel free to use it. But if you're completely new, yeah, I would recommend Core Mini for this. There we go, we're building up some shape. Again, not getting too stuck on it. This kind of looks like that one of those plant-based Pokemons. I don't know the name, but are people able to get inspired by something themselves? Are they sort of figuring out some kind of pattern to put on their So maybe I'll go more basic for a second, right? And of course it's gonna look a little bit strange for a while, but this is the process of figuring it out, right? You build it from nothing, so it's also gonna look like nothing for a while. But you gotta imagine what it's gonna become, right? That's the whole point. Sketch it out and see where it leads you, right? So let's go ahead and make this sort of... Maybe let's make a little base for it. Trying to do a scarab but looks more like a frog. Are you inspired by the last stream I did? That's cool. We did a scarab on that one. I don't know if you saw it too. Yeah, for sure. If you feel like doing something completely different, you're more than welcome to. I'd love to see it at the end as well. So I'm just trying to build up this sort of base right here. And then maybe flatten it out. Okay, and now I'm looking at my reference. I do really like this sort of, these kind of patterns, right? Repeating this kind of stuff. So I'll try to sketch it in. And if you ever get to the point where your file is like super heavy, you can reduce the polygon count here. So let's say I went ahead and I was like really detailing in, and then really detailing in. And you see my polygon like rising super rapidly, and then at some point ZBrush is gonna be like, oh no, you have too many polygons, you can reduce it right here. So we'll think for a second and reduce it for you. Normal ZBrush works a little bit differently, right? Okay, so let's try to sketch in. Turn off my... So So we're trying to make something cool here, right? There is no guarantee, there's only trying. So you really have to be brave a little bit. But I think I can make something cool out of this. So I'm just trying to sort of stack these panels right here. So if you can see sort of what I'm doing. Oh. Phew. Bless me, thank you. So really going ahead and trying to get some kind of pattern on my pendant. Let's not worry too much about the backside for now, I guess. Because then that would just take a lot longer. Maybe if we do it like this. Bless you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Say right here, goes like that. Then maybe it comes off of this here. So I'm just keeping it super rough, right? That should be very evident. But I'm just trying to figure how you make a flat surface. So there's this thing over here called the polish brush, and I was actually about to do it. So you select it, and then you just go over a surface. So if I want to flatten this, you see, I'm just like holding down and pressing it. So there are many ways to make a flat surface in normal ZBrush, but this is sort of the only one that we have in Core Mini. So right now I'm just trying to find a place for everything, just in relation to each other. It's not meant to be pretty, it's meant to be me figuring out where all the stuff is going. Thank you, yeah, no worries. We're kind of getting this abstract shape right here. So I really sort of don't like how this is all like the same now. So now I'm gonna do something very brave and just like smooth it down to completely destroy it. We lost a lot of movement here and I do not like that. So we go ahead. I thought it was kind of cool how this thing was like curving in over my sculpture. So I'll go back in and I'll reinforce that. Maybe it curves and then hugs around. Creates like a diagonal. Cuts in. Goes around. Sort of like that. Okay, cool. And then this one comes out. So this is sort of part of figuring it all out, right? Are people able to sort of work on their own thing as well? Are we moving along? You can also sculpt like, you know, whatever you want, like a little skull on it if you find that cool. Flower, leaves, you know, whatever it is that you feel like your soul needs right now. It's just about creating something that you find is cool, and it can be a little abstract if that's what it takes right now. Yeah. Sculpt my idea. Nice. Okay, and then just blocking out this little, what is meant to be a dragon's head. See if we can get it to wrap around in a nice way. Comes and it rests right here. Sculpting is usually meant to be, or not meant to, right? But it can be very relaxing. But it is just so extremely hot right now, and today, and in this room. So I'm sweating. But if you can, try to enjoy it, right? Because well, not only does it make it more fun, but you'll probably be able to get further with it too. There's like a different kind of progress that comes with a sort of joy, right? So much easier to seek out information and take it in. Okay. Keep your reference in mind as you're going. So I really want to get something that at least sort of resembles a dragon. Of course, it's going to be incredibly difficult with the time frame that we do have, sadly. How long you been sculpting? I would say simple answer is 2-3 years, I'd say. But I was doing a lot of studying on my own for a long time. And obviously that's a different kind of intensity than really sort of being serious about it, right? And trying to make a career out of it. It's like way different. So let's reduce our poly count a little bit. Is there something specific that you're wondering about since you asked the question? I'm more than happy to answer. So let's move around stuff to get more of the feeling that we're looking for. Feel like my clay build-up works different than yours. Just a curious guy. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so it could be that, let's see. In what way is it different? You might need to, I think, yeah, it can be a little bit weird. So on a surface, if you go ahead and smooth it, you give it a little bit more polygons to work with. And that might be what is different between mine and yours. I just go ahead and smooth it whenever it's acting weird. You see here, it's like acting super weird. So it could, smoothing it could be helpful. Let me know if that was the issue or not. If that wasn't the issue, try to describe a little bit more and I should be able to help. So right now while I'm flattening these is like, I'm trying to get a better shape. Doesn't really feel right. Smooth a lot. Yeah. Yeah, normal like full sculpting packages, they work a little bit different. It's because ZBrush Core Mini is using something called Sculptus Pro. But of course, like all the sculpting knowledge is all the same, right? It just works a little bit differently. So it can be a little tricky to work with, but we're making it work. For the people that were like completely new to all of this, is sort of the way that we work kind of making sense? Or is it complete nonsense? Or is it like a little bit like... It's very difficult. I guess it also depends on what it is that you're trying to do, right? I recommend like something simple if you're completely new, right? What I'm doing right here might be a little bit much, but you can decorate your pendant with whatever it is that you feel like. So you could just get some simple patterns and decorate it that way, right? This might even be a little bit much for me, right? this dragon here. I do not want it to look angry. It's supposed to be a little bit of a calmer feeling to it. It's hard getting used to the brushes. Yeah. Well, I think today it would be like if you come out of today just understanding what the brushes do and being able to use the UI and understanding the principle a little bit, that would be like a good start, right? Doesn't have to be all of it at once. Yeah, of course, still, if there's any questions about the stuff, let me know, right? So maybe we can use the snake hook right here to make some sort of horn or something. That'd be sort of dope. Maybe from here. Yeah. Okay, frame it. Okay, I'm just gonna smooth this down and sort of redo it a little bit, because we did go a little bit crazy down here. So we try again. Is the smooth tool always dependent on the size of the brush? So yeah, in Core Mini it is. In if you have a full sculpting package, the smooth will usually function very differently. What do you usually do when you're almost done with a sculpt but something doesn't look quite right but you can't put your finger on it? So in general with art, there's two things you can do. You can flip your canvas or you can walk away from it. And really it helps a lot. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll leave it open on my PC like this and I'll literally walk away, grab a cup of coffee, like go eat some food, do something for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. The longer you do it, the more intense the effect will be. But sometimes 5-10 minutes is enough, and you walk back in the room and you look at it. And then sometimes you'll be able to see it. Could be a proportion issue, could be a design issue, it could be a lot of things. That usually helps me. Hope that helps you or answers your question a little bit. But of course, sometimes it just needs more love, right? And this thing, of course, like it almost looks comedic in how messy it is right now. I'm not gonna lie about that. But that's sort of the process to getting somewhere, right? Especially if we're designing something from scratch. And then at some point, hopefully, it just comes together. They go really well for the first couple hours, but when it's done, something looks just a tiny bit off and it's thrown off. Have you studied anatomy before, Kyon? Or are you just using reference? Because it definitely makes a big difference, but I don't know if you did it already. I do spend a lot of time studying anatomy, especially facial anatomy with Guru. There's always something that looks just a bit off. Yeah, I mean, at that point it's definitely just a question of practice makes perfect, right? There ain't really much more to say than that. And yeah, I especially also could use a lot of practice when it comes to facial anatomy. There's the Anatomy for Sculptors, if you know that book. They have one called, what's it called? Anatomy of the Face and Neck or something like that. But anyways, they have a book that's also designed for face stuff. And it's kind of nice. So right now I'm just going in after sketching in the little plates or whatever is going right here. I am redefining the form and making sure they're actually feeling spatial, like a real solid thing on the surface instead of like just lines on it. Sort of give them their own form. And it does become really difficult to detail in Core Mini, because it starts lagging a lot with a lot less polygons than it would on the regular version for some reason, even on the same PC. So we can just try our best right here. So let's see if we can get this to work real quick. So since we only have like 20 minutes left, I'll just try to polish as much as what I have right now. I'll just try to polish it. So see, I'm sort of using the high polish brush to get these kind of angled surfaces. Almost makes it look like hammered metal or something like that. If you're trying to make a pendant of some sort, it can really help with the planar brush, so you can make stuff feel a little bit more metal-y, if that makes sense. Of course, there's limits to it. You gotta be a little bit careful about what you do with it, but you know. So I'm just gonna rush a little bit and try to tie the whole thing together as much as I can while and you all can do the same, or take your time as well. There's really no rush for you all, right? I'd just love to see your all's work at the end, hopefully, if it's possible. You know. Okay, we keep going, we're almost there, don't give up, let's go. Okay, try to get some of these surfaces not looking so wonky. Smoothing stuff up. There we go. Hopefully you all are getting to the point where you can see some kind of cool pattern on your pendant. Doesn't have to be something as ambitious as this. It would probably help your case if it was a little bit less ambitious. Sometimes less is more, of course, right? Here I can just sort of define the planes a little bit better with the planar brush. Count. also do sort of this type of thing to build a pattern, right? You can build up volume, and then you can build up volume around some other volume, and then you get this kind of sort of interesting pattern. I almost want to try removing these guys here. Oh, but that's just so late in the process. How's it going for everybody? Did you all manage to get something? So what I did is I just took the inflate and then reversed it and then smoothed it. Oh. Guys, really, like an hour and 1.5 hours is not a lot of time to do a sculpture. So don't feel too discouraged if it didn't, you know, if it needs some more time, which it probably does, right? Heck, this one I'm doing right now could use many more hours if I felt inclined. It's really just the beginning in an hour. But the beginning is just what you need for an introduction. Okay. Also, guys, don't hold back if there's any questions, right? That is what I'm here for. Okay. And this is sort of why it's a really good idea to use reference or make your own reference or whatever, right? Because you'll just end up going over a lot of the stuff you've done, deleting it, removing it, right? And that's a lot easier to do when you're just using a sketch. But of course that wasn't the point of all this. The point of all this is just to get you all to use the brushes, sort of understand how to work in this sculpting 3D space. So you can just keep going over. I hope at least like I hope the whole principle of like building up volume, like taking it away, making all these cool 3D shapes or whatever is making sense for people. Right now I'm just sort of going over the stuff that I already have, just making some weird like cool shapes, I guess. Sort of destroying it, remaking it. We can give this dragging some like cool texture like this. There we go. Give all of this some directionality. There we go. For the top, I guess I'm gonna try to clean it up a little bit. But no matter what we do, those two will not stick together. So it's kind of limited what we can do. Can polish it a little bit, make it try to look more like something that could be a place where you put the, you know, string for the necklace, for the pendant through. In love with this kind of weird shape. I feel like I can almost say it's okay for now, it's almost there. I wonder if we can take a snake hook and adjust it that way. Oh, no, we can't. That's a normal ZBrush type thing. That's okay. We just gotta move it. Gonna go in with the clay build-up. okay. This part down here still feels a little bit cheap. Maybe we can save it real quick before we call it. Just doesn't really feel that organic, does it? Just feels a little bit. Get a little bit of a rim right here. And we sort of get this weird little pendant thing. You can change the material out here on the left too. You can sort of see it in different lights. Now I wonder if we wanted to, could we change the overall shape of it? Turn on the symmetry. There we go. Alright everybody, coming to an end. Of course, this project was probably way too ambitious for the time that we had, so I had to cut it out everything and just make it super simple, right? But I hope that by me going over the same thing and like destroying, removing, you just got to see how you can sort of build up and destroy and remove shapes in 3D space. And I hope it makes sense how to use the tools a little bit. And I hope you got introduced to Core Mini. That was really the point of it, just to get you all going and working on your own thing. Understanding the hotkeys and all that, or not, yeah, just the basic navigation really. Alright. So if you do want to, we have this cool little thing right here. Boom! Our Discord, everybody. It was perfect. I'm glad. I hope you could use it for something. I say my result could definitely be worked on some more, right? But I'm sure we could all work on our own little thing some more, right? I just kept it just abstract enough where I think anyone joining in should be able to do something of their own, you know? It doesn't have to be perfect, but whatever it is that you made, I'd love to see it. So if you're not already in the Discord, you should definitely join. Right here we share the stuff that we make on the bootcamps, and there's a bunch of different stuff right here. And if you post your thing, I can see it, and I'll stay for a little bit longer in case anyone posts stuff. So I'll just link to the server right here. So CADA. Invite people. Wow, look at that. So nice. So nice. Okay. That looks amazing. Good job, Clarissa. Wow. Oh my god. Guys, please don't feel discouraged by Clarissa. She is an amazing artist, so. Oh wow, look at that. That's so cool. Yeah, I get that. It's the first thing I thought was some kind of caught gem inside the pendant thing. No, that's really, really well done. I'm so happy to see that. I love the sort of. Yeah, it almost feels like what's it called? Straw that's holding it together. Those kind of lines around it, but it could be some kind of organic material too. It looks sick. I love that. Yeah, really, really good job. That's nice. That's nice. Berserk pendant super scuffed. Of course, it's fine to be scuffed about it, right? That's what we're here for. It's a beginner-friendly stream, and I think if this is your first time using it, you got whatever it is that you needed out of your first time, right? You got to try it, you got to experience it, and hopefully, I mean, if you enjoyed it, I think that's more than enough. But I could definitely see the Berserk vibe right away, right? It's like slightly creepy, just a straight up mouth on the pendant. Really good job, everybody. I'm happy you could all follow along with the concept too. Yeah, mine is super messy, right? Could clean this shape up a little bit, just so it becomes a little bit more readable. Are anyone else posting on the Discord, or is that it? I can sit around for a little bit if someone is about to post their thing. Let's not do that. I love yours. Oh, thank you. It's always the same thing, right? When you're working on something, you're just, oh my god, there's all these things I wanted to do with it, you know? I'm glad you like it. So let's go ahead and, oops. Copy it in. And we can post ours in the chat too. Oh, we're getting more stuff. Nice, nice, nice. An alien orc. Hell yeah, with the... Definitely looks alien. Oh my god. Wouldn't want to be that guy. Wouldn't want to be close to him either. Bro looks like he's gonna fucking eat me alive. Good job. It's nice. Let me go through. These are also nice. Everybody, let's heart each other's work, you know, show that love. I'm gonna do it with all of them, I think. It's so nice of you all to try it. And I'm so happy that you all sculpted alongside me. It's nice. Very messy. It's supposed to be a wanderer in the mist. You know what this kind of makes me feel like? It makes me feel like those like a really ancient artifact, like almost like a Mayan artifact or something. Obviously there's like a figure in the middle, and this looks like some kind of shield. But again, right, it might be messy or whatever, but if it's your first time, you should be more than proud, right? It's always the beginning of something. I almost feel embarrassed posting mine next to everybody else's. But that's it, right? Safe space for everybody. My pendant for the camp. Good job, everyone. Really nice, really nice. I'm proud of y'all. Give yourself a clap on the back. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Let me go full screen for this one. Yeah, I hope you got something out of it. The point is just to introduce you to ZBrush, right? And I'll be going here in a minute, but before I do, I'll just let you know that I'll be back again next Wednesday for another bootcamp, and we'll be doing modeling next Wednesday. So if you want to, feel free to join me there. I think it'll be super fun. We might do something similar to last time we did modeling, so maybe some kind of cafe or something like that. Let me know if there's any suggestions or something that you want to do. It was fun. I'm glad you all have fun. Got semi-used to the brush, is great. Let's go first step. Yeah, definitely. First step. Yeah, okay. And also, if you're curious, you don't have to, but I will probably be streaming tomorrow, and I'll be working in my own version of ZBrush, just doing my own stuff and what I'm used to. So if you want to come hang out, feel free to, but it's not like a tutorial thing, it's just me doing my thing on stream. Oh, you missed it? Yeah. You can always watch the video on YouTube afterwards. But yeah, you can also join next time, or next week. We were doing modeling next week. Okay, everybody. It was cool hanging out with y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye. And also, like the stream. Like the stream so that people know you like it, and so I can keep doing it. Okay, everybody. And thank you too for joining. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.